Again, we're going to hop right into it. Sometimes we get it done much before the 30 minutes and sometimes not. So we'll hop right in it to, do our best to respect everybody's time here. Today is how to track and manage your real estate pipeline to maximize the true potential. With these first sessions that I'm doing, I'm really trying to dump the systems that I have so I can, lead with tangible systems that can be implemented into your business as you see fit, but basically immediately if these things work for your business. But I'm going to show you how I track and manage my real estate pipeline and also kind of lay your goals and attach them to it. So let me just pull it up. Everyone can see my screen, right?
Yep.
I always got to make sure I'm sharing it before I get too deep in and I haven't actually shared my screen. Can you guys see what's on the screen here?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay, so this is it, guys. And again, the stuff that I share, generally I've gotten it at somewhere at some time, and then I've added my own to it, right, to make it better. So I'm not here to claim that I am the all-in-all creator of all this stuff, but certainly I have added to it. So this is how I look at my pipeline, and this is a generic one. You can see it's just buyer 1, buyer 2, buyer 3, seller 1, seller 2. So I don't want my clients' info on here, but as well, this is the one that I will share with everybody. But one of the things when somebody showed this about managing their pipeline, I thought was so great. Well, first I'll explain the tabs here at the bottom so we know what we're going to get into. The first one is my pipeline. The second one is like a purgatory for prospects I wish were actually in my pipeline, because as real estate agents, sometimes, we may see something, oh, we really want that on our pipeline, when truly it's not. So we put a place there for it. Technically, this should just be your CRM, but for the people, and I'll explain how I shift them from here to here. So it's in your actual pipeline, prospects that you would really like to get on here, your pipeline. It's a great place to know who you should be servicing at the highest level. And then goals and production. Now, this I just added recently after having a conversation with Dallas, and what he had mentioned when I was talking about pipeline is how important it is to have your goals and tracking your actual transactions right next to your pipeline. I mean, they're really hand in hand, so it's a perfect place to go. So with the pipeline here, what we're looking at is my buyer pipeline, people who, I'm working with, current listings, upcoming listings 1 to 3 months, and then listings 3+ months out. And I'll let you know how I deal with those, because we all know somebody who is 3+ months out can easily turn to 6 months, can easily turn to a year, right? I mean, when someone is 3+ months out, I hold them in a different category. But I'm going to show you what I love about this. What someone had showed me is we've got your buyer name, your the price range, the commission here. Now we're all in BC who's on this call. For anybody who's watching the replay who is outside of the market, your formula can be a lot simpler. We have a split commission where it is a certain percentage on the first 100,000 and a certain percentage on after that. Now with buyer commission, we don't know what our buyer commission is going to be on each transaction because it's set by the listing agent. So I have put in here what in my market is is generically somewhat correct. 3,255 on the first 100,000, and then this percentage on after it. That can be adjusted. So these formulas you can adjust, or if someone's in a different market, you can just put 2% or 3% or whatever it may be. But what I really like is probability of the sale. So what this does is this calculates your volume, your potential volume of your buyer pipeline. This calculates your potential commission, but really, I think it's so important to look at the probability of the sale so that you're actually looking at realistic numbers. We have buyers who look, I mean, especially in this market, I have buyers who have been beaten up, and I don't know if they're actually going to buy in this market. They have been maybe priced out, maybe just exhausted, but probability of the sale starts to give you a realistic number. So if they purchase this much and this is their commission, but maybe probability of the sale is 50%, or some of these should be higher, right? 85, 90% when you have someone who's pre-approved, who has already sold their home, like they have a motivation to sell, you know, these numbers will be higher. But what it does is it gives you the value of your pipeline, so that when you look at it, you have the potential of your pipeline, but you also have the value based on the probability of the sale. Now we have down here your listings, so it's a little more info, but these are your active listings. So it would be address, MLS, date listed, expired, just so you have that information at hand. List price, commission, probability of sale. I mean, these days, anything that hits the market, if it's priced reasonably, I say could be a 90 plus in our current market right now. And then you have the value of the pipeline, like the true value, not the potential, but the actual value. So what then we have our 3 months out, which obviously is missing a little bit of information. You know, you don't have an MLS number yet, you don't have these dates, but 1 to 3 months out, these are people who I would include in my calculation of my pipeline. So value of pipeline here is adding up this number here, and this number here. Now you can see that I still like 3+ months here, but I do not add these numbers in the calculation. It would be an easy switch if you wanted to. I mean, the formulas are here. You click up there and it shows you which ones are included, and all you would have to do is add that. But for myself, if something is 3+ months out, I'm not adding it on there. I need it to move up my pipeline. I don't want to have too rosy of sunglasses on when I'm talking about my own income, you know? So the potential value of the pipeline here is adding up these numbers, the, you know, what your full commission would be of every single thing on your pipeline close. That's going to be, and again, it's not including the 3+ months. So you have your value of your pipeline based on you being realistic of where of the probability of sale. Then you have the potential value of pipeline. So this is if you're out there closing absolutely everything, doing everything you can. Now, what I love about having this pipeline, it's no different than when somebody has the whiteboard that has everything up there, is that you can pull this up in the morning, and before you get started on anything, it's like, how can I bring value to these people that have chosen to work with me, or people that I know are going to be doing business soon. So when we go on to the next tab here, prospects, I wish were in my pipeline. Depending on where you are in your business, I say that you choose a probability of sale, and when it exceeds that number is when it moves over to your pipeline. So if you're new in the business and you know, you're not that busy, you know, your threshold might be when it crosses 50%, it gets over here. You know, it moves on to your actual pipeline. Now, if you are smoking busy and you've got referrals coming in more than you can handle it, well, your threshold might be, they got to be 80 or 85% before they're even getting the privilege of being on my pipeline, right? So it's different for every person, but I find it useful in that way, is you can create the threshold. You can still get these people that you would really love to work with close to your pipeline, but we don't want to get in the habit of extreme wishful thinking and filling our pipeline with stuff that is not probable, in my opinion. So that's why I created this. And technically this could just be sitting in your CRM, but that's why I created this, because I know we have the urge as salespeople to make our pipeline look nice, right? Everything is in the pipeline. So 2 things, you have this over here, a purgatory, and then you have your probability of sale, which brings everything down to reality. But at the same time, you can be looking at your potential value of the pipeline while also understanding the true value of your pipeline. So after that, what we have here is goals and production, which I think goes really hand in hand with your pipeline. And right here, the annual sales goals here, this is right out of this book, guys. We're all familiar with this book, right? I mean, most people would if you're in sales, Gary Keller. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just making it automatic and making it calculable. So you've got your Over here for your annual sales goal, anything in blue is input fields, meaning these are the ones that you actually put the numbers in. Everything else calculates. So if you want to create goals of your down here, your total sales volume or your gross commission, you just massage these numbers. It's starting from appointments. I'm not going into lead sources and what lead sources are converting at. This starts at appointments. So seller appointments, buyer appointments, you got your conversion rate. If you don't know it, this will give you the motivation to start keeping track of it so that you can understand if I have, how X amount of appointments this year, this is how many clients I'm going to have. Then it comes in after your appointments to your conversion rate. It's going to be the listings or the buyers you've taken, and then the conversion rate to an actual sale. That can depend on the market a bit, but it also can depend on, how you're working with your clients, but you put in your conversion rate there. And that will lead you to the number of transactions. You enter your average sale price or what you would like your average sale price to be. Then that will calculate your seller sold volume or your buyer sold volume. Then we have your commission. Now, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just putting a number. Like for us who are out here in the West Coast of Canada, where we have a tiered commission, I'm not going to put my goal of commission as X amount on the first 100,000 and this. We're going to just we're going to get a number, and I'll show you how it calculates automatically for you, so once you start to enter your production, and you're going to see what your commission is already. So we don't have control of the buyer side. What I did is I took a bunch of fictional transactions based on the commission that's normal out here, and then it averaged up over here, but I'll get into that. So you put in the commission, it gives you your gross seller volume, your gross revenue from buyers, gross revenue from sellers. Here I have, again, guys, your expense for your having a listing or your expense for your buyer is going to vary, but I put those numbers in there for fun just to help calculate here. So we're looking at your seller and your buyers, and then it all calculates down here for total for buyers and sellers. Total sales volume, total gross income, less your estimated expenses, and then your net income. Now, I haven't put splits in here because everybody's at different brokerages. Like on my personal one, I do have it calculated with my splits, but everyone will be from different brokerages and have different things. So I haven't got into that, but I think this is good enough here. So this calculates your goals by you filling out what's in the blue. And then down here is where you track production. So completed seller transactions, sale date, address, name, sale price, commission. Completed buyer transactions, sale date, address, buyer name, sale price, commission. Now on this, the commission is not calculating off of the sale price because this is when you have actually sold your property. So for instance, if you had to pay out a referral fee, obviously the systems aren't calculating that. So in your completed transaction, you actually enter your own dollar volume of what your commission is. And then over here, this is where we're tracking percentage of goal achieved to date. And we have our sellers. So we have average sale listing price. If you said, I want my average sale listing price this year to be $1 million, it's going in there, your annual goal. Your actual is going to base off of the average of your actual transactions that you're doing. So you can say, oh, I'm progress to date. My average listing price is 23% above what I wanted it to be. Then you have total seller volume, which is taking this number here based on what you wanted to do for the year. And then this number here, your actual, is what you have entered into, what you have actually closed this year. So you can see, well, I'm on track. I'm 54% of the way. You can judge where you are in either your calendar year or your fiscal year, but you can visually see this stuff so you know when to put a fire under your own ass or not. You've got your gross revenue from sellers, which is coming from this number here. It auto-populates. And then you have this one, your actual gross revenue from sales, which is coming from this added up. And then you see progress to date. Where am I? Then we have our average listing commission. So we put in a goal over here, but what is calculated is your total sales volume and your total commission it takes. So if for us who have a split commission, once you start entering your transactions, you're going to understand your number at a flat base number, because it's going to be auto calculating. So these ones here with all the sales and commission, it takes this number and divides it by this. And that, and you can see the formula's up there. If I click into a field that has a calculation, and then I click up here, if I scroll down, you can see the numbers that are inside the formula. So if anything needs to be changed, but so it's calculating my actual average listing commission and, you know, progress to date. Then we have buyers, same thing. You got your annual average, your average buyer sale price, which is taken from here, which you enter. Then it has your average buyer sale price that it is taking from here, your actual transactions that you put in. And then where you're at, and again, total buyer volume, which is here, buyer sold volume, my goal, total buyer sold volume is these added up, which auto populates with the percentage. Then gross revenue from buyers, again, it's auto populating from here, which is calculated from your inputs here. Your actual gross revenue from buyers, which is adding up your paid out commission from your buyers. And then where you are progress to date. So it's helping you see it on an annual basis. And then average buyer commission, because we do not have control of our commission when we are a buyer. I don't have a goal and I don't have a progress to date, is because this here actual is going to calculate up from your buyer commissions, what you got paid in your buyer commission, divided by the sale price. So it's going to show you it, which is good. So you can say, okay, I'm more time efficient if I'm doing listings, you know, whatever. It'll at least make it visual for you. But with that, obviously, listings have more expenses. But then it takes these numbers here. It takes your total sales volume, which is coming from here, your actual sales volume, which is adding up your buyers and adding up your sellers, where you are progress for the year. And then again, your total gross income, which is coming from here. I didn't do it less expenses or net income, but you know, when we're looking at our goals, we can just go off gross. When we're analyzing our business and how we can make it efficient, that's different. When you're calculating your expenses, where can I cut costs, this and that, that's not really what this is for. This is for your goals and progress. So your total gross income, which is auto-populated from here based on the inputs that you have put in. And then your total gross income, which is calculated from your buyers and your sellers, and then where you are at progress for the date there. So that's it, guys, for this for this spreadsheet. I feel sometimes, because I'm a marketing guy, I feel sometimes like these are boring presentations, but I know they're ultra valuable tools to have. And I wanted to start with what I could give away tangibly. We will be getting into marketing stuff and things like that, but I wanted to kind of get my stuff off my chest of what I can just give away right off the bat. So anybody feel free to turn on your mic if there's you know, anything that you've been using to track something that's relevant to pipeline or goals or production. You know, these are baselines that you can add to, but I feel it's a good solid base to take from. And I mean, on my personal one, like I said, I add different stuff. I've added kind of my own broker split and things like this. You can build on it, but it's I'm trying to cover everything that I think is important, from your pipeline to your goals, and then tracking your goals to your production in one place, which I think is pretty important. Go ahead, Dallas.
Okay, so you're talking about the splits. Okay, so like, you know, once you pay your cap, then would you delete that or like adjust so you don't have to have that split coming off of this as soon as you pay out, and then you don't have, when you're not playing the splits anymore? Or
okay, so which one are you talking about, the pipeline or the goals and production?
Like on your pipeline, when at the bottom when you had your like GCI, you said you're going to pay out the splits to the brokerage. After you cap though, and you're not paying that split, would you then adjust that, or would you just leave it
for this here?
Yeah, I think, or when you go lower.
Yeah.
Lower. You had at the bottom where you, or maybe it was up.
Or was
You
it on
had-
this? Was it on this?
Oh
sheet
yeah,
here?
right here. Yeah, so where you have your like GCI, your expenses, your net income. You're talking about, every brokerage has different splits, of course, right? So once you go ahead.
You were at the same brokerage as me, so I can share you mine, which actually cuts in my splits. But no, so this net income is actually, so it is total gross income less expenses, and that's your net income. So your split would also come off of that. Like a split would be additional. This is not calculating splits because I wanted to keep it universal, right? For everyone from every brokerage has different stuff. So this net income is actually before split. So in my truth, how I like gross income, less expenses, less split to be my net income. So that's not what this is on here because I can't calculate everybody's split.
Okay, and then also with the percentages that you had for the buyers, for example, to come to that number where they're at a 40% percentage, 50% or whatnot, do you have certain qualifying questions that you would ask to get to that number?
Well, I don't, but that is right now it's kind of just out of my head, but I mean, that's a great system to put in. That's adding to the system. Like if you said, if you wanted to really scale the system amongst people, I could say that you could say they have to have a motivation to move. They have to be pre-qualified, certain actual questions that would put them into it. And then you could put a legend that you have to check off and that will give the percentage. That's even thinking deeper on the system. But right now I'm just gauging it out of my own head. But certainly if they haven't been pre-qualified and they don't have any reason or motivation to move, then I mean, those would be key ones for sure.
Okay, no problem. That's all the questions I have.
I will cut it at that then, guys. I mean, we're 4 minutes early, and I wish I could have. I'll sort out my volume thing. I don't know what it is. So everybody is good. I'll sort out my volume thing. I don't know what the issue is, but hopefully we got some value there, and I can send this out to everybody. So unfortunately, I can't hear you guys other than Dallas through the phone there. So I will say adios, guys, and hopefully this can be used in your business. Bye for now.